marks for tasks that don't work if the code is along the right tracks. So yes, if you make your code along the right tracks, then you do get some marks of that. So it depends a bit how far you are of the right answer. Is it a stupid oversight, or is it really the wrong kind of approach? So that is for the particular tasks in the brief. We don't assess per se your exercises, even though they build up to this. So if you had an exercise that was wrong, fix it. In general, also, if there's something that you say, okay, this should work, but it doesn't, or there's something really weird happening, ask in Virtual 201. We are there to help you with those things. You can share your screen and stuff, and then we can look at what the code is, and sometimes a new pair of eyes just makes a big difference, especially if you have something as monumentally hard to program as a missing semicolon or an off by one error. Things like that can just be tricky to see because it's just one character in this whole file. Sometimes you just look past the problems. So what you want to do is, if after 15 minutes, half hour, you're still staring at the screen and it doesn't get at you, ask for help. Same time, one thing I would really advise is learn how to use the debugger. So what you can do here is, for example, go to your sources. You go to the script file. So you put a breakpoint there. That should then give you the ability to, so you can see this. And then it should be, when you then reload your page, or let's say render user should do when we do the thing, it should now be actually here. So we can now see that we are paused. The web page shows we're paused, and we can now step over, step into, etc. So step over goes to the next line. So now we have a table. So here we can see all the locally visible variables. You can also look at this object. You can look at the global variables. So there's global variables. Yeah, there's a lot of global variables. So if you want to take what is the current selected user, you could just create a property current selected user and set that to a value. So in this case, we have the table, which has a certain property. So it has a lot of, this is a built-in HTML thing. So there's a lot of properties we don't care about. You can also add expressions that you care about. In this particular thing, so the console log looks up the table again. We could probably get rid of that. This is the code. This is basically the code I showed you previously, but we didn't do a debug. So you can go just step over it. Remembering the keyboard shortcuts is really helpful, because doing this with a keyboard is so much faster than with a mouse. So you go to the next line and then you do this. So this is how you can go through everything. If you're calling a function, you can do with the step into, that basically goes into that function, rather than giving you the code to go out. So that is so in this case, so this is what happens. This update stuff. We can now actually see already in the web browser that some content has changed. So when we go a little bit through this, we should be able to also so go to a certain line. We'll have a quick look. This is step will step inside different bits inside the same line. Let's not do that. So when we go here, yeah, it doesn't have a run to line function, unfortunately. PyCharm might have. So now we have one user. You can see it in the background that it actually has loaded. And I will just resume here so that it does the entire thing. But this is how you can visually figure out what is going on with your JavaScript. Another added benefit for using the DevTools is that it will actually bypass some cache behavior. So it actually will make your caching, your page reload from the server more often. But sometimes it's still stuck. So if you press this shift or if you press hold and the develop option is there, you can figure out. So you can do a hard reload, which is the shift reload that always works. And you can even do an empty cache and hard reload. And if the page doesn't reload properly, this one is the one you want to do. It is normally only visible if you have the developer tools option open. So if you update something in your code and it doesn't seem to be working on your JavaScript, that is one of the possible options, that it's try to cache it and it's no longer valid.